Hi everyone. Who do we got on? Hi Sue. I know some of you. Hi Georgia. I know some of you here. Hey Beck. Some of you I don't know your magical handle. What up, Robin? Alexandra. Boom, woo, here we go. Lots of people pouring in. I'm excited for today's topic. I'm also streaming over on the Whole Fit brand page, Facebook Living it. How are you guys doing? So if any one of our various channels goes out on us today, hi Ames, we've got a backup. Give you guys a couple moments to hop in. Gonna organize my tools for today's scope. Thanks for sharing, you guys. If you'd like to scroll left or right, depending on your phone, you can share with your communities to hop on today. Let's see if we can break the internet. We've got a hot topic today. Hi Jess, over on Facebook. We've got a couple people hopping in there, 15 or so. Coming up to 200 on Periscope. We're gonna kick in. Cool, I'm glad we've got a few people new live. This will be saved as a recording for those of you that are brand new to Periscope or Facebook Live. Hi Ashley. And again, this is streaming over on the Whole Fit brand page. So welcome everyone. This is a weekly scope I do, and I stream on Facebook Live when Facebook Live is playing nice. Sometimes it crashes on me. Every once in a while I like to do a focused topic. So I'll introduce myself first and then we'll go into what our topic for today is. I've got a desk full of supplies and tools to share with you guys. So I'm gonna try not to drink from certain things. Here's my water. Let's get that organized, separated. All right, cool. Hi Germany. Hi Aruba. Hi Heather over on Facebook. Cool. All right, so my name is Ange Peters. Welcome to this Wednesday 2 p.m. scope. And I am the founder of Whole Fit. So I'm a holistic nutritionist, personal trainer, health and business coach. I'm a Presidential Diamond with doTERRA Essential Oils. And here's what I do. I like to empower people to not need me. I shared this, we were doing a class here in London last night, and I shared that with the group, that I feel that really to feel empowered, for you to feel empowered, you want to feel as though you are your own health strategist, your own guru. You're able to not only have the information, but the tools that you need to live an awesome life. So whether that be clients that I used to train in my studio, or nutrition clients, or people I help get started in oils, my goal for them is to be able to get on a journey of living their life in a way that they step into their power, where they feel like they have tools and answers, right? And this is, I think, ultimately what we are all seeking at some point. We don't hire a coach to need a coach the rest of our life, right? There are coaches and leaders out there that will make you think that you need them in order to function, and I do see that a lot in my industry. However, I think that for you to truly live empowered, you show up to scopes like this, right? So today we are going to discuss something I posted over on Instagram. How many of you saw that post last week where I shared on Sunday my little notepad of things that I do every Sunday? It was actually about 10 things, I think. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Actually, it was 13 things, but a couple of them are like kind of fun things. So we'll just still call this the top 10. So if you wondered what I'm actually talking about today and you have another device with you, you can hop over to my Instagram and you can see the post I made this morning, where I'm going to break down for you the things that I do every week, for the most part, to kick off my week feeling amazing. And I want to start off by just sharing why having a day like this is really important. And I want you to, of everything I share with you today, I want you to think of the word ownership. Because that's what this is really all about, taking ownership of your life and knowing that it's not up to anybody else for you to have your dream life, right? You do realize this. It is up to no one else, and no one else will actually do that for you. So it's important that you take ownership of your life. And in order to do that, you need to, every once in a while, assess how things are going. And you need to have habits built in to your life to be able to live a life of ownership, where you are designing a life that feels incredible on your terms. Because what may feel amazing to you might not to somebody else. Your life, your call, right? So what I do every week, usually on a Sunday, is I do various things to come into the next week feeling really fresh and in control and ready to give back. It's a Sunday for me is really, in a nutshell, a day of getting quiet and listening to my body, my soul, paying attention to what I am being guided towards, whether that be in my business or with people. I like to really think about the people in my life, in my inner circle, and building out from there. Who can I, in this coming week, serve in a bigger way? Because I'll be ready to serve because I've taken this day for me, right? So when it comes to, managing our time and really carving out days like this, it's important when you're looking at where you're spending your time in general to know that a day like this doesn't just happen. And I actually, I've talked about this before. I like to take this up a notch sometimes as well. And I will do a CEO day where I will take one day out of my month, if I can, to get out of my environment, out of my office, out of my home. Sometimes I might even get out of my city, because the goal here is for me to get creatively inspired, to spend a day where I can do all these things I'm going to share with you, but in a whole day, I just really, step away from my environment so I can see things clearly and see what I'm needing to do next. And this, in my opinion, is what leadership is all about. Because when you are a leader knows the way, goes the way, and then shows the way, right? And in order to know what the way is, you have to, every once in a while, get quiet. You have to know what is being asked of you. And one of the challenges you face if you are in any kind of position where you are wanting to be a leader is you have to get really good at tuning out the noise. You have to get good at, it's a skill. You have to know what you need and what you don't. And you also, if you have a team that you're leading, you have to know what they need and what they don't. You are the guardian of the culture you are creating in your business, right? And it starts with you. So you cannot lead other people until you know how to lead you. And in order to lead you, you have to know how to tune out the noise, whether it's once a week or once a month or once a day or whatever your personal approach is. You have to do that in order to stay in your peak state as a leader. Because if you are empty and if you're always getting distracted by the next best thing and comparing yourself to other people, you're not actually a leader, you're a follower. So you have to determine, are you somebody ready to put on that leadership suit and lead you first so that you can lead other people? And if you are, let's dive in. So the thing is, when it comes to time management, there are two circles you spend your time. There's your primary circle, your primary fulfillments, and then there's your secondary fulfillments. And here's, and again, what I'm going to share with you, I'm going to give you what mine are, okay? Because yours might be kind of similar, but you want to maybe take some time and think about this and where you're actually spending your time. I'm going to get to these top 10, I promise. I feel like this is important to share. So when it comes to your primary fulfillments, these are the things that really need to happen for you as an individual and as a leader in order for you to feel successful, to feel fulfilled, to have a full cup. These are the things that when these things are not getting met, it gets ugly. That you start to resent your business. You start to move into below the line kind of emotion where you're comparing yourself to other people, where you live in fear, where you're not creative, you're not inspired. All these things start to bubble up when we are not taking care of our primary fulfillments. So let me give you some examples of what mine are. My primary fulfillments are taking care of my inner circle of people, my husband, my kids, and my closest friends, and my front line in my doTERRA business. They are my primaries. I think of them most, okay? So when I start off my day, I think I have some of my frontline girls on right now. They are like, you know, they're massive CEOs of their business, right? We have on our Whole Fit team, we have a huge organization. My frontline girls are like, they're my people, right? So they will often hear from me a couple times a week, whether through text or whenever I'm thinking of them. They're my people. My husband, my kids, my family. They are all obviously my VIPs, right? So I want to make sure I'm taking care of them first. That I'm not giving my time to people who are in my secondary sphere, okay? And I'll get into that in just a moment. So in addition to people, there's a couple other things that are in my personal primary that when these things don't happen, the wheels start to fall off, okay? So number one, thanks Jody, you rock too, babe. Number one, outside of people in my primary would be a workout. I really try to get out there and move my body every day in some way, because I know to me, it's not about looking a certain way, and it's not about fitting in a certain size of clothing. It's about me being in peak state. It is entirely about me remaining at a level where I am able to function on a higher level than I would if I didn't move my body every day. So that is a primary thing for me, for no other reason than that. I want to give my best to me and to the world. So that's a primary. Another thing, great, I'm glad this is landing. Another thing that's primary for me is to meal prep. Because food, and honestly, at the base of being a very functional, healthy, high-level person is daily movement and good, clean food that comes from the ground and not a package. So for me, in order to feel like I am humming and highly operating, highly functional, I need to be filling my body with good nutrition and good supplementation. So I make sure that that is something I'm carving out a little bit of time for every day. And I'll explain how I do this when I get to my top 10. A couple of the things that are my primary, I have to have a clean car and I have to have a clean workspace. My mental state is reflected in those two things. I've shared this before with you. So I'm like really adamant about having a clean environment when I'm working in, and I spend a lot of time like in my car kind of doing calls and driving around. My car is like, it has to be in pristine condition for me. No. Okay. So, meal prep. Oh, and then clean house. You know, I am one of those people that cannot go to bed with a messy kitchen. I have rooms that are a mess, yes, but the rooms that we spend the most time in, I really like to have them organized. Because again, for me, if it's a mess, this is a mess. So if that's you, what you'll find is when you're in a funk, sometimes stopping just to clean some of that noise around you will really help. Now, let's talk about secondary fulfillments. Here's the thing. A lot of people, quick sidebar, Tiffany said she's tuning in right as she's reaching into the cupboard for Nutella. Drop the Nutella. Grab some hazelnuts and some dark chocolate. Get more of the real deal in that body. All right, so cool. Someone who's redoing their kitchen. Kim's redoing her kitchen. Awesome. Okay, so secondary fulfillments. These are the things that unfortunately a lot of us, when we're not taking ownership of our life, we do these secondary things first when which should be the other way around. So you know you're doing secondary things first if you go to bed at night and you're not even sure what you did all day in your business, especially if you own your own business. You need to really listen up, because primaries have to get done so that you can be a leader in your business. If you're focusing on secondary fulfillments, you are a follower, not a leader. You are somebody who is, you think you're doing things that are moving your business forward, but they're not. And you think you're doing things that are moving your life forward and moving into a place of joy, but you're not, because you're doing secondaries first. Here are secondary things. Social media, hopping on Facebook and looking at every notification and commenting on everyone's posts and watching what everyone else is doing and going down that rabbit hole. Social media is incredible. I love this with you guys. However, I need you to know that the only reason I'm here with you right now is because my primaries have been taken care of. It's the only reason I'm here. I wouldn't be hopping on to do the scope every week with you and giving of my time if my primaries were not being met. I use Facebook to build community intensely. I use Instagram and Periscope to build trust with my community so that they know me. But I'm never on there if my primaries are not taken care of. And if you ever see me kind of start to fade off of social media for a bit, you can bet it's because I'm focusing on my primaries. So what you need to ask yourself is, when you find yourself on social media, is it the first thing you've done that day? Because if it is, get out. You need to get to your primary list. This is secondary. Other things that are secondary would be emails and texts. How many of you reply back to somebody right away when they write you? Or text somebody back right away? How many of you do this? Tap the screen. Let's be real. Let's be honest. How many of you do this? Because I have gone in and out of being that kind of person for sure. And it doesn't feel good. Because here's what happens. So we have a lot of people saying that they do this. That's okay. You gotta acknowledge it before you can change it. So when you are constantly responding to people's texts right away and answering emails right away, or even picking up your phone when people call, you are not a leader. You are constantly in reaction mode. Okay? So you are following. I probably should have called this scope, the difference between a leader and a follower, because that keeps coming up. But if you are constantly reacting and responding and basically letting other people determine what you're doing with your time, you are following other people's agenda, right? So a leader says, I'm going to check my emails at this time and this time today. I'm going to write back on text message at this time and no other time. The only people that I text back immediately would be my husband, my parents, and the odd time my front line. But even they know when they text me, they're not going to get an instant response. They'll get a response within usually the day. But the thing is, if I was living on my phone and on Facebook and email all day long, I would never get anything done, ever. Because and actually, I want to share something that one of my frontline girls told me on a call last week. She realized that if you take doTERRA, for example, as a business model, you grow through the ranks when you have done the development at that current rank to reach that next rank, right? The personal development, to be able to move into the next rank. So the next rank in your business is going to require a different you in order to get there. So you develop that person, that leadership potential, and then you get to that rank. Well, my frontline leader said to me last week, Ashley, I don't know if she's on right now. She said she realized, and I'm going to paraphrase, but she realized that getting to the next rank in her doTERRA business basically just symbolizes her capacity to be able to serve more people. I just lost Facebook. Let me pull them back up here quick. To get to that next rank, she realized it was directly linked to her capacity to serve more people. So what is required to be able to serve more people? Hi, Em. Thanks for the hearts. Facebook, we just lost you. See, Facebook keeps crashing. I don't know what's up. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Ashley, would you do me a favor if you can? Can you tell the people on Facebook just to join on Periscope? I keep giving Facebook these chances every week when I do the scope, and it's just still not quite where it needs to be. Thank you. So basically, if your goal is to go diamond in your business, let's say, Kate, I'll answer that 1 second. If your goal is to go diamond in your business, diamond might mean you have, 10,000 people below you in your business in doTERRA. How is that going to happen if you are somebody who is responding and taking care of every single person when they need it? Your goal is to be able to empower people with the tools they need to find their answers, teach people to be resourceful. When you're constantly responding to people right away, you're not teaching them to be resourceful, right? You are, you're basically over-functioning. You're doing too much. So, and Kate just asked, I think your question was around my feeling on auto posts on social media versus organic. It depends what your goal is. So for example, in my Whole Fit Essential Oils community, I do a lot of auto posting because my goal in that group is to serve that community with lots of ways to use their oils, lots of inspiration. So I have auto posts that go up, but I usually will do some kind of an organic post once a day. Instagram for me, I love Instagram because I think it's very in the moment. I never really plan my posts on Instagram aside from teeing up like the 2 p.m. scope. But I love Instagram in the moment. So that's where you're gonna catch people more organic. Same with Periscope. It's usually a very organic thing, right? So that I just wanted you to kind of take inventory before I go through this list of your primary and your secondaries. So now let's go through what I shared. So number one, and again, this might be a different day of the week for you guys. I love Sunday for this because for most people, that's a day to spend, more with their family and focusing on maybe their spiritual health, right? So Sundays is a great day to step away. And the first thing I put on this list was to unplug, right? If you are constantly plugged into what's going on online, and if you don't have some of these boundaries in place like I've shared today, then you may find that you are just always very connected to people and you're never able to take a moment back and listen to what your spirit and what your body and what your business is saying to you that you need to do as a leader, taking ownership of your life. So unplugging, enough said about that, right? You need to take a day. I'd encourage you to even have unplugging hours set in your day. If like maybe you need to, if you're a business owner, it's a good idea to establish working hours for yourself. How many of you have done this? Like, do you have like 9 to 4 where you are doing very focused work? When I was first a business owner, it's hard. You're kind of like, whenever you have time, you're doing things, right? But then you start to get burnt out. And you also will find that your time with what you're doing is not really focused. So I'd encourage you to be a boss of your schedule and set those hours. And then when you're not meant to be working, unplug from that and really take that time to be with whoever you're planning to be with, if that's your kids or your husband or whoever. The second thing I love to do on Sundays is a more established, I called it morning soul session. Okay, just some comments coming in. It's really hard to be, especially when you want to be present with your kids. I know, it is. So what's good to do is to ask for help so that you can carve out time to do your business, whatever that is, even if it's just an hour a day in the beginning. If you can, or maybe what you're doing is you're getting a sitter, a nanny, somebody to come over for 1 day a week. So that's your focused time. So instead of doing an hour a day, you're doing 7 hours a week in 1 day. And then the rest of the week, you're your mom, full on. But, everyone's situation is different. When do I do my grocery shopping? I don't too often. I have a meal delivery service. It's another one of those, as you experience more leverage in your time and your money, that's one of the things you might want to look at. I do like grocery shopping though. I'll usually go on Friday mornings because I book that day away from my calls. Okay, morning soul session, back to that one. So I will either go to church, so I'll either have that morning for spending time like with community, or I will just spend time in quiet. That is a day for me for sure where I sometimes will come into my office, which I really love being in my office. It's very peaceful to me. I've surrounded myself with things that inspire me and keep me in a very high vibe state. So I love my office. So I will often on a Sunday morning come in here and I'll either read or listen to a great podcast for an hour or two. In the mornings, I'll have my diffuser going. And again, I've got the kids taken care of. I honor this time for me because it's just my quiet time to be able to really pay attention. And often I will kind of look at my schedule for the following week and take a look at what commitments I've made and if they feel right still. And the people I'm spending my time with, the things I'm giving my time to, just being quiet and really looking at this, I'm able to do that. So I also have talked about this before, but on Saturdays, that's when I will often do some of my like house puttering around, cleaning, organizing while I listen to a couple hours of podcasts. So I'm generally getting a good dose on the weekend of just filling my mind with positivity. Through my work week, that's when I'm often listening to things that are continuing to drive my skill sets forward. business podcasts, reading or listening to business focused audiobooks. So that's kind of how I separate those out. Meal prep is number 3. So on Sundays, and I don't know if we have anyone in the who, am I losing you guys? I don't know if we have anyone in the room who ever took my meal prep webinar, but I've shared a lot about this in the past. Sundays are a day where I will spend a couple of hours prepping for the week. Hi, Jen. And a couple of things I do every Sunday. I'll make a really big salad, something crunchy and fibrous that won't go bad the next day in the fridge. So I'll make a huge one. I actually, I shared in the oils group last week my recipe for this Asian salad that I made, Asian quinoa salad with essential oils in it and stuff too. It's really good. So I made a big one like that. If you guys have questions about this, I'm not gonna answer them right now. I'll answer them at the end. And then I'll also make a big soup, or something that we can kind of nosh on for the first couple of days. I'll wash a whole bunch of produce. I'll make up some protein, so hard-boiled eggs. Yeah, you can find that webinar on my website. It's called The Healthy Sustainable Kitchen on wholefit.com, HOL-FIT.com. So I'll make up proteins and I'll make up some quinoa or something. So then I have a lot of things that I can construct meals with throughout the week. And that feels amazing to me, to have good, nutritious food ready to grab. The other thing I do, step number 4, is I plan my workouts in for the week. So I will often, in the afternoon on Sundays, I'll go for a long run or a long walk, and I'll also plan out my workouts for the week. I often will think of, are there classes that I could attend with a friend, like, you know, kind of hook up with a friend. I've even done this with some of the girls in my front line. Instead of having like a mentor session, we'll go do like a workout mentor session. And then, you know, I'm also thinking of like balance, you know, trying to fit in more white space kind of workouts like running and yoga, and then weights and things like that. So I have some structure. Can I let you guys know about something I'm working on? So I used to run this successful program called Eat Clean, Get Lean. How many of you remember that? It was 4 weeks of holistic health focus and accountability, and it was awesome. It was fun. I loved that group. I am bringing it back. It's getting a revamp, and it's coming back this fall. And it's also going to be available to our essential oil community. It's going to be incorporating oils. It's going to have accountability built in. It'll be offered up if you don't want to do the oils and supplements. You can do the program again. It's going to have a new name and a rebrand, and I'm super pumped. I'm actually hooking up with a friend of mine who's on our team. Tomorrow we're meeting with a photographer and doing some shoots for the new ebook. So it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I think it's the missing piece. On our wellness team, we have a detox that we give you, which runs 2 to 3 times a year. We have lots of ebooks we give you full of recipes to get going on your lifestyle, and now this will be kind of that missing piece. It'll be a fitness program, so you can decide kind of where you want to begin your journey. So I'm super pumped about that. So I wanted to mention that just while I was talking about the workouts. So that's a key thing. You know, in order to have a healthy life, you have to plan in things that are going to make that happen. So, you know, just assuming you're going to work out every day is not going to happen if you don't schedule it in. So awesome. Yay. I know I'm so excited to bring that back. It's been a while in the works. Okay, next thing I do, laundry and donation bag. So I've shared this before, but my mother-in-law, she's so sweet. She comes over once a week and we'll have tea, and she'll often kind of iron the laundry and sort it for me. And then on Sundays, I put it all away, and I try to, every week, even if it's just a small bag, I try to donate, like create a donation bag every week, just to focus on less is more as much as I can, you know. So rather than tackling my whole closet once a year, which is really daunting, I try to do this weekly so I stay on top of it. So I do that on Sundays. I also take a quick like 5 to 10 minutes and clean out my car, because again, I share that to me is a sign of where my mental state is at. So what I will do every week is I will, and I've got some tools I'm going to share with you here. So I'll make a simple cleaner. I think the majority of you in this group are oilers or are about to be oilers, are considering getting started with oil. So hopefully you like these recipes today. But one of the things I do is I make a simple orange cleaner that I wash my car down with inside. And I love using Norwex cloths as well, because they collect the dust so brilliantly. But what I do is I have a glass bottle and I put the teaspoon of On Guard cleaning concentrate in here, and then I add, depending on the size of it, this one here I believe was an old sparkling water bottle, so I will add about 20 drops of wild orange to it. I fill it up with water, and then my whole car smells like orange. It's, love it, love it, love it. If you wanted to have a little bit of a polishing oil, then you could actually just simply create a little spray with some olive oil in it, wild orange and water, and then that'll create like a nice sheen. So depending on like what your interiors are in your car, that will work. And then I give it a good vacuum. One of the things I invested in a few years ago was a Dyson, like the handheld without the cord. It's awesome. It's like a long handheld one. You guys have probably seen them. It's the best ever. And it just so easily goes right to my garage in the car, and I vacuum it out and done in 10 minutes. So that's one thing I do on Sundays. Okay, I'm gonna give you a couple of the recipes. Yeah, because the last 5 or so things were recipes that I shared. So I've got some tools here. And this is now where I focus on some of my self-care throughout Sunday. How long did it take to start doing all these things weekly? You know what, this has been kind of years in the making. So if you tell your husband you want a Dyson, you know, what I would suggest is that if you are doing none of these things, pick one a week to add into your routine. Don't try to take it all on. I've always been fascinated at figuring out how I could create a lot of efficiency in my life. So this list to some might seem extreme. For some of you might be ready for something like this. So just start off with 1 or 2 things. Okay, so let's start off with the clay mask. I mentioned that part of my Sunday includes self-care. I often share a lot of these recipes on Instagram. So one of my favorite things to do is have a quick bath on Sunday night, like 20 minutes. And this sounds like a really indulgent day, I realize, to many of you. But what I didn't share was much of the day I'm just hanging out with family, with the kids. Like, we're together the whole day. We're playing, we're going for walks. You know, if I'm doing things like folding the laundry in donation bags, they're with me, right? So it's just like, you know, this sounds like, it's like, oh, I've taken a whole day off for me and lucky me, right? But no, I mean, it's like, I'm just very aware of how I spend my time. I don't waste time. That's what I'll say about that. I don't watch TV. And like I said, on Sundays, I'm not online looking at what everyone else in the world is up to. So when you're very organized with your time, you can get a lot done. Okay, so here's how you make this mask, real simple. We're gonna be on for another 10 minutes, you guys, okay? So I'll try to go through these pretty quickly. So, nothing wrong with self-indulgent days makes you a better you. Yeah, it totally does. I just wanted to clarify that that it's not like I've got, you know, it's not like my husband takes the kids for the whole day. Somebody asked, I don't watch TV. No, I don't watch TV. I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news at all. I don't really care what's going on in our world that is reported in such a negative way. So until we're able to control our news feed and only get the positives that are happening in our world, then I don't give it any of my time. I'd encourage you to do the same. If you find you're living in a state where you see a lot of pain and negativity around you and you feel that in your body, stop watching the news and stop reading the paper. Okay, so recipe. If you go over to my YouTube channel, I actually did a video, I think it was 2 years ago, in my bathroom where I showed you this mask in action, but it's real easy to do. So often I will make this before, this is my best scope of all time, right on. Okay, cool. Well, I know this is a topic that we all love, right? So I was excited to share it with you. So usually I'll whip this up really quick before I get into the bath for about 20 minutes. And what I love about these next like 4 or 5 recipes I'm gonna share with you is they're so easy to do. And this is what often will attract people to the essential oil lifestyle, because they love the idea of just whipping things up really quick with like 2 or 3 ingredients. It's the best ever. So this is that mask. So what I do is I'll grab a bowl, and you don't want to use plastic for this or metal, okay? And I'll either pour in apple cider vinegar, okay, raw apple cider vinegar. My Instagram account name is Holfit, HOL_FIT. So you can either do a base of raw apple cider vinegar or half apple cider vinegar and half water or just water. So you pour a little bit in your bowl, and then all you do is you get a clay powder. So you can buy these at the health food store. You can get bentonite clay, you can get green clay. I'm trying to think of what other ones I've seen out there. But you basically want a clay powder because that's what's gonna draw a lot of the impurities out. I think I got this one on Amazon. This one's called Indian Healing Clay, okay? So what you're gonna do, and I'll show you kind of what it looks like here. Okay, it's a big tub. I just got another one of these. So this one's full, but it'll last you like a year or two, this clay. It's amazing, right? So if you've got your liquid in here, so you've put maybe like 2 to 3 tablespoons of either your apple cider vinegar or your mix of that in water. And then you add enough clay, you just start adding it and stirring it a little bit until it makes a nice paste, okay? Once you have a nice little paste, that's when you're gonna add in your essential oil of choice. So my favorite essential oil to use on my face is frankincense. A couple other ones that I would use, you don't use metal because you're using vinegar with this, because that would not play well. So frankincense, or I love to use lavender, or what else might I use? Geranium. Those are all really good skin oils. So is cedarwood. But frankincense, I mean, right guys, if you're gonna use an oil, you're gonna use frankincense in your face. Let's just take a big whiff. Those of you with oils at home, grab your frankincense. Let's do a big community whiff. Oh, I just love it. I didn't love the smell of this when I first tried it. Maybe it was stirring up strange spiritual memories for me from my childhood. No idea. But now I love it. I love what it does for my skin. It's incredible. So, yeah, okay, some comments. I don't have time to do any questions right now, but okay, so then what I like to do, here's my tip. I get an old makeup brush that I keep just for this purpose, and I'll basically brush it on my face, neck, chest, wherever I want. This is gonna dry up really nicely on your skin. However, if you're in a really hot bath and your body temperature gets really high, it probably won't dry. So this is an incredible mask. I would recommend you give it a try. If you are not wanting a drying effect with your mask, just add a little of your fractionated coconut oil or avocado oil to that mix so it doesn't actually dry. But for those of you with oily or acne prone skin, this is gonna be incredible. It'll draw a lot of impurities out and it hardens. It's really cool. So that's that mask. I'll put that on while I'm in the tub. Yeah, you can use your hands instead of a brush. I just feel fancy doing it this way. Okay, next up, sandalwood coconut hair mask. Sounds lovely, right? It only takes 2 ingredients, okay? So, again, I'll get a bowl often. Usually I'll have a bigger bowl than this. I just used these to bring all my supplies up. And what I do, this is so simple, you guys. You get your hand mixer, or even an immersion blender would work, and you put your organic solid coconut oil into a bowl and you whip it until it turns into like a mousse. Okay, mind blowing, I know. So you put this in a bowl, you whip it, it turns into a mousse texture. When it's at that texture you like, then you're gonna add some essential oils to it. So I would put 2 to 3 drops of sandalwood, because sandalwood is really nourishing for your hair. I don't know if you guys knew this, but sandalwood, the consistency of it, where is it? The consistency of it is so thick that it actually can be used. I only have a little bit left in this bottle, but it's so thick that it can actually be used as a hair serum. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just put a couple drops in my hand and I'll just kind of like run it through my hair. So you're basically using whatever amount of coconut oil you need for your hair. Like my hair, as you can see, is really long. So I'm using a couple tablespoons usually, whipping that up, and then adding my 2 to 3 drops of sandalwood. Or you can use ylang ylang, someone mentioned, or geranium is really good. But it's just awesome. So I'll often put that only to the ends of my hair because the oil will work its way up really quickly. So you don't want to be like massaging your scalp, okay? But it's amazing. I love it. And again, like 2 ingredients, right? Done. You don't need to be buying all those things anymore. Stop buying all those products. You can make things so easy, right? Okay, what was up next? Lavender Epsom bath. How many of you, oh yeah, sorry, then you rinse it out. And what I'll often do right before I get out of the bath or shower, when I've done my hair, is I will run an apple cider vinegar rinse through it. doTERRA's blog, I think, posted this recipe this week, where you basically do 1 part apple cider vinegar, 4 parts filtered water, and then I think it was a couple drops each of rosemary and lavender. And I'll pour that over my scalp and hair when I get out, and that will actually help to cut down a little bit of any oil that had traveled up the hair shaft. So this is why with the mask, you just want to keep it on the ends. Work it into the ends, and then give it a good rinse. Okay, Epsom bath, really simple. This is, for a lot of people, this is where they will start when it comes to using oils. They will throw a cup of Epsom salts in their bath. They will add, you know, between 3 and 5 drops of essential oil, depending on what oil you're using. If you're using lavender, you could probably get away with about 5 drops in your bath. And you can actually add it right to the salts, so it helps to disperse a little bit better in the water. Otherwise, obviously essential oil has a different molecular structure than water, so it will tend to sit on top of your tub water if you don't have some kind of an emulsifier in there. Not so much of a concern when you're using something like lavender in a huge tub, but it would be a concern if you're using peppermint, right? Because peppermint's such a cooling oil that if that was sitting as a layer on top of your tub, it wouldn't feel so great on some of your parts. So dispersing, it's important. The reason I love baths, and I recommend people do these a couple times a week, just to help, you know, bring down their just their nervous system, just to help kind of calm down, especially if you've had a busy day. An Epsom bath will help you sleep, and you can kind of go to your kit of oils and just really let your body tell you what you need. The last things are super quick. Do I have any tattoos or piercings? Is that a real question? I have my ears pierced, and I pierced my own belly button when I was 16, but I have no tattoos. Is Epsom safe to use with little ones? Yeah, I'll use about a half a cup with my girls. They both get in the tub at the same time, and I'll add about 3 drops of essential oil. Yeah, super safe. Epsom salts have magnesium in them, which is, again, is going to be good for kids to help them sleep. And you know what else? I'll just share. I don't use soap with my kids. I just do that. Is it safe for pregnant women too? The Epsom salts? Yeah, a lot of women find magnesium very helpful through pregnancy because it helps with any kind of cramping. So it can help your muscles relax. It can help if you are getting any of those Charlie horses, any kind of leg cramps, things like that. Very good for you. What do I use instead of soap? I use water and Epsom salts and the essential oils in the tub. Sometimes I'll actually use doTERRA's shampoo because the pH of it is the perfect pH for skin. So sometimes I'll make them a little bubble bath with doTERRA's shampoo. Okay, last 2, and then we're done, you guys. So another thing I do every Sunday is I take all of our toothbrushes and I put them in a glass jar. So usually I've got like 4 toothbrushes in here. I also put in my tongue scraper and any other kind of tooth tools that we use. And I'll add 1 drop of On Guard, which is doTERRA's protective blend. So it's an awesome blend for boosting the immune system and for just overall cleanliness. So I will add 1 drop for every toothbrush, put it in this jar of water and soak them for like about 10 minutes. I do it every single week, and the reason I know it works is because when we travel and we bring our toothbrush, if we have done this, the toothbrush never gets that kind of like funky smell because bacteria is not growing on it like it would normally, right? So that's how you kind of know, an easy way to know, but I absolutely love doing this. Okay, last one. I also do my makeup brushes. I'll grab my makeup brushes, and here's my simple recipe. Every single week I do this. I'll get another glass jar. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. I'll get a glass jar, and I will grab all my makeup brushes. I'll fill the jar. Here's what I like to do with it. I'll put either a teaspoon of Castile soap, like Dr. Bronner's brand, or the On Guard cleaning concentrate. Does the oil just sit on the water though? Do you use an emulsifier in the toothbrushes? No, I don't. And like you can give them a quick swirl. The thing is the water itself is going to have the On Guard in it. So even though the molecules will eventually kind of like come up to the top, the water itself, like you can give it a mixer once in a while, but again, I'm only letting it sit there for about 10 minutes. The makeup brushes, what I like to do is I'll put about a teaspoon of Castile soap or On Guard's cleaning concentrate, which is brilliant. I'll fill it up with water, and then I'll add basically an essential oil for a nice aroma. So I will add usually ylang ylang or geranium. I love those. They're very feminine oils. I'll put them in here. I'll soak all my makeup brushes, and then they're clean. I dry them overnight on Sunday night, and all week when I'm using them, they smell so pretty because of the oils that were in the soak, and they're nice and clean. So that is my best day ever Sunday. One of the things I didn't share that I wrote in this list was I review my calendar for the week, but I kind of already shared that when I was talking about what I do during my morning soul session. I'll look over my calendar, and I have no problem writing people and saying, you know what, I'll need to move our appointment for this week. If it's something that, or like, and I used to say yes to a lot of things. Now I say no to almost everything, or I at least say to people, let me check my calendar before I commit. And then I really look at it and feel, is this something I want to commit to? What time do I wake up? Between 5 and 6. And that was something I've started implementing more. I started waking up with my kids over the last few months. That just does not work. Yeah, so right now I'm in a season of getting up before my kids. No is the new yes to self. That's cool, I like that. When you say no to somebody politely, you're teaching them to respect themselves too. I think that people need examples from other women, especially of women who are honoring themselves, right? What time do I go to bed? Usually 11. Check out the book tour Sacred Yes. Cool, I'll write that down. I haven't heard of that. Oh man, I have hundreds of favorite podcasts. I love podcasts. Oh shoot, what was that event? Sacred Yes. I hardly ever just listen to music or anything. Sometimes I do. I love music. I'll listen to music when I'm cooking, different times of the day, but I always have podcasts going. I've shared them before. I'd love for some of you to share what your top faves are. I guess my question is, what do you feel like you're most needing right now in your life? And then I can tell you a couple podcasts. Makeup brands, I'm not going to get into that today, but basically go on to EWG and search in their database, and you can find a whole bunch of brands and read up on those companies. Bottom line, when you're choosing brands and looking at products in general or essential oils, you ultimately have to, oh, you're welcome, great. You have to find a company you trust, because there's nobody else monitoring that. So you have to find a company you trust because you do your homework and you feel aligned with that company. And when you have that, then you have to just go on that truly, because you can look at ingredients till you're blue in the face, but the reality is you're not going to find, like, usually with a lot of companies, you won't find that they do everything perfectly, right? So sometimes companies will have things that are a good kind of next level for people. Most companies have like their core product that they do, which depending on what their belief system is and what they're trying to serve the world with, if they're claiming that they're making everything under these guidelines of being pure, then you just got to look at the company, and you know, you can use websites like EWG to make better decisions. Thanks, Sue. All right, I have a call in 5 minutes. Do you guys have any other questions? How do you properly build your business and grow while working your current full-time job? Well, I'll tell you this, it's not easy, and the ROI is not good. The return on investment is not good in your first year building a business when you have other things on the go. But the most important thing is that you're aware that it's going to take a year or two of working hard, of making it work. You'll find the time. You'll stay up later, you'll get up earlier, you'll spend time on the weekends when other people won't. You're willing to do the things that other people won't. And that's the bottom line. Nobody has an opportunity that hits them when they have nothing else going on, right? So you just have to decide if you're interested in doing it. Even in doTERRA, I want you guys to think about the ranks in doTERRA. There are only 8% of all people in the company that ever hit diamond. Only, I think of that, only 5% ever hit blue diamond, and only 1% of people ever hit presidential diamond, okay? So in order to do that, you have to be willing to do the things that the massive percent of people are not willing to do. If your goal is to be diamond in doTERRA, you have to be willing to do the things that over 90% of people will not do. And it might, you know, you have to basically ask yourself, am I willing, am I interested, and am I able to do the work? Ashley's working on manifesting leaders committed like her. Well, just you just keep being the awesome leader that you are, because that's going to attract the right people. Thoughts on carrageenan and LLV? It's a necessary ingredient for the oils, because LLV is the only supplement company in the world and out there that has essential oils in one of the 3 components, and the soft, the short chain polygenin that's used in that. It's not the same one that basically created all this frenzy online. If you message doTERRA's product support, you can ask them to send you the information on why they've needed that ingredient in any of the products or supplements that have essential oils in them, because you need a strong enough stabilizer for the oils to not basically change that product structure. Thanks, Ash. LLV for prenatal supplement with more folic acid is the question. With pregnancy, I would absolutely take them into your OB or your midwife and have them look at the ingredients for you, because they likely know your history and what you're needing. But in general, I would say 99% of the time, LLV is going to be a phenomenal product for people, for women who are pregnant, much better than any kind of prenatal that you would typically be suggested to you. But just review them. It's always good when you're starting any kind of supplement to have your doctor look over the ingredients in it and see if there's any levels that your specific growing belly body needs, because maybe your baseline blood tests show you low in certain things, and then you know you just need additional supplementation. LLV is going to be a really awesome baseline for the majority of people. It's going to fill in the gaps for your diet's not. It really is an absolute when it comes to feeling amazing in your body, whether that's through pregnancy or just through life. And doTERRA's supplements they're actually their #1 product. More people buy that every single month than anything else. Essentially Inspired. What's your name? I've seen you on here. Pam. Hello. Jesus Christ loves me. I love him. Cool. Holistic Living was out for a run listening to our scope. I love it. Lindsay, that is next level. It's great. Okay, well, I believe we'll be back up next week. Let me just check my calendar. Next week, Wednesday, we'll come back to doing a Q&A session. So bring your health and business questions and we'll answer them next week. This Periscope will be saved. So if you want to just take a look into my profile, you'll see this broadcast and many others from the past. I will likely upload this to YouTube as well, since it was more of a focus topic today. But thanks you guys for joining. And again, my website's holfit, HOL-FIT.com. And we'll see you next week. Bye.